Right, hello everyone. Um, yes. So we're still waiting for people. It's not the most busiest, the it's not the busiest race we're gonna have. A lot of people have said that they're not gonna be able to join today. So we've got, at the moment there's only 12 drivers in the lobby. We've got both the Aston Martin drivers. We've got both the McLaren drivers. We only have one Williams driver. One Mercedes driver who I think is a reserve, Ben Dixon in the Ferrari, as well as Nevo. Is Nevo meant to be in the Ferrari? I can't remember. Let's see. Lineup. Nevo is, yep, he's meant to be in a Ferrari. So Bradley, who's been in the Ferrari the previous race or two, Bradley is meant to be reserve, so he's taken up an Alpine instead. Who else is around? We've got a Haas. He's Crazy Steve. He's got a permanent seat now, so he's in the racing the Haas. Aaron, I don't think is able to join. We've got both the Red Bulls. Yeah, but well, someone else has appeared. Oh, well, Thomas is going to join in. Okay, so Thomas was going to be a spectator, but now he's taken up the second Williams seat alongside Hyper. So that's, at the moment, a 13 car grid. It's not going to be, well, it's not amazing, but sometimes circumstances prevent you from having a larger grid. In the meantime, well, yeah, we're just waiting, really. Mockrain, yeah, Mockrain is meant, should be reserve at least. I think Mockrain should join in. Bolster the numbers. Faco's come along. Where is Darth? Darth has not appeared yet, though. Let's take a look at the what's it called? Registrations. That's it. And look at the reactions. Just Crazy Steve, Dan Edwin, Ivan, Leonard, Colin, Faco, Nevo, Ben Dixon, Ike Bengage, Wisenheimer, Hyper, and Tiamo, as well as me, in case I ever like, in case you need me to race. I'm not against racing because I do like the Red Bull Ring. It's a decent track. People in the people who can't join are Tim VD, Aaron, Darth has actually pulled out.
Ready?
Well, it looks like we're going to be starting with 14 cars. We've got Mockrain as a spectator. You're a spectator, Mockrain. I don't know if you're watching. Maybe, maybe not. I would have thought that having a 15 car grid would be a bit better than a 14 car grid. Take the other Mercedes seat, maybe, I don't know. As of this moment, though, we're still waiting. We're about 90 seconds overdue. Bit longer than that now, but whatever. Been almost 2 minutes since we should have started, but well, sometimes you can't avoid these things. and Mark Wayne is going to take an Alfa Romeo. I mean, I'm not against driving. As I said, I like this track. I just hope the weather is decent, because I don't like the rain much. Yeah, I mean, it might make for a fantastic race. Though it wouldn't be a fantastic race for me. It might be fantastic to watch, not so much to actually be in, but who knows. Of course, I don't see the weather. It's going to be random. So there's no telling what it's going to be like until we actually get there. And we've got a couple of practical jokers and the McLarens. The Carl Lando duo, by the looks of things. We're still waiting for people. Possibly. Just stop the countdown, I don't need it anymore. Yeah, we might get another person, so it looks like we're going to have a 16 car grid now. Just got to wait for this guy to join. I could put the stream back onto the waiting screen, but we'll wait for now. Yeah, just unforeseen circumstances, really. Not much you can really do about it. Everyone's anxious to get going. But surely we're still waiting for one more person. Maybe. Oh, wait, there they are. Hyde has finally appeared. What team are they going to take? I mean, there's not many options left. Just take anything. Take something. Doesn't matter. Alfa Romeo. So, a completely reserved driver Alfa Romeo team. Let's go, as a famous Italian plumber has said in the past. Right. And it's going to be full quali. So, okay. I thought it was going to be short quali. Oh well. And just closing my window blinds quickly. Alright. This is unusual. Everyone is ready, and yet it still says we're waiting. Ah, it was just hide. Okay. Wasn't showing him. Right. So welcome to Austria, ladies and gents. Or, I suppose, just gents, but you never know. I won't judge. Welcome to Austria, one of the easier tracks on the calendar, and as such it's one of my favourite tracks, because it's so easy. First car out, it's looking like it's going to be an Alfa Romeo, and that is CRS Hyde. First car out onto the circuit. Car number, I don't know. Oh, 71. It's Devon Butler. There's another car coming out, I think. I didn't see which one it was. It's Colin Hogenberg in the Aston Martin. Oh, and as luck would have it, Crazy Steve is the next car out. Oh, I know what I need. I need the track map. We've also got a McLaren coming out. Lap data. We want... we'll leave telemetry out. We've got a Ferrari coming out too. As CRS Hyde comes around to start his first flying lap of the session. So DRS is open, going down the main straight. Want to take the first corner nice and tight. Ooh, bit of a loose end there. Onwards down to turn 2, which isn't really a turn, but F1 says it's a turn, so clearly it must be a turn. And Hyde is not pushing. Appears to be saving the energy. Maybe taking a warm-up lap? I'm not certain Hyde is pushing here. So I'll go over to Colin, who definitely seems to be going a lot quicker here. Taking a lot of curb into the entry of turn 4. Careful you don't go too wide on the exit. Did get a little squirrely, taking a lot more curb once again. Through turn 6, goes purple in the second sector. Oh, and goes wide. Didn't invalidate, but that is the lap that's over now. And Colin is going to want to do a second lap. Meanwhile, Hyde has gone 108.8. We've got the Mercedes of Toss at 1981, beginning his flying lap. Meanwhile, Steve is coming around the final pair of corners to finish his first flying lap attempt. And what is this lap time going to be? It's going to be a 104.7. So he didn't let off there. That's the first proper flying lap completed in this session. First lap taken in anger. Wisenheimer goes 105.0, whereas Lennart is on his out lap. We've got an Alfa Romeo in front of him. That would be Hyde. So what is Hyde going to do? I should imagine it should be a lot better than a 108.8. Not this time. Meanwhile, Lennart is right behind that Alfa Romeo. He doesn't get all squirrely on the exit of turn 2. He's going to have a bit of a slipstream into turn 3, but oh, the Alfa Romeo goes off the road to let the Aston Martin pass. I mean, I wouldn't have gone that far off. You could have wrecked, mate. But oh well, to each his own. Lennart also taking a lot of curb through the entry of turn 4. Takes a lot of curb on the outside too. Doesn't get unlucky. He got a yellow flag in the second sector. Looks like a car's gone off. Another Alfa Romeo. Don't believe that was intentional. Over the hill into turns 9 and 10. Aston Martin nice and planted. Through turn 10, over the exit curbs. DRS open, and that's going to be 104.162, just slightly behind the Ferrari of Ben Dixon. Meanwhile, Mokrane is on his fast lap now, his flying lap. He doesn't have his DRS open. Oh, we've also got a bit of lag going on as well by the looks of things. He isn't opening his DRS, so either that's more lag or he's just making a mistake there. The Red Bull of Ivan Hafterkamp. Oh, Colin has retired. I believe he thinks he's happy with that time. As Ivan takes a lot of curb, but he didn't get penalised. It's not been invalidated, so to each his own. Whatever. Didn't go too badly. He goes purple in Sector 1, but that could just be a personal purple. These games can be notorious. He doesn't take that much curb as he goes through turn 4. He's right behind the AlphaTauri of Faco, who doesn't have his teammate Darth this weekend. Reasonably well planted. It didn't look that fast, but trust me, he's going fast. He's definitely attacking this track. How much curb does he take? He takes a fair amount. Not as much as the Aston Martins have. Looked like he was going to go straight on there for a second. But across the line he goes third with a 104.294. Very close to 104.3. Slightly ahead of Colin. And he lets the AlphaTauri pass. Let's switch to the AlphaTauri now, if we can. The controller is not behaving, so I'll go right on board with car number 19. How much curb is he going to take? Well, he's very close to the edge of the track. He's not going to take a massive amount of curb, but he takes turn 4 quite nice and tight. Doesn't take any of the exit curb. It does take a lot of entry curb there. Nicely does it through the second sector. Actually, no, it's technically third sector now. What sort of time is he going to do as he comes through turn 9? Careful not to go too wide. Took quite a bit of curb there. Looked like he was going to go spinning round. Goes 5th. 0.023 of a second behind Colin. Is that going to be enough? Well, with any luck, it should be. Ferrari coming into the pits after invalidating. You've got a McLaren who's also going to pit. Got an Aston Martin letting Hyde go past, who still has not managed to improve. Hyde obviously trying to improve his time. Is he going to be able to do it? I've not been able to see his sector times. He doesn't sound the fastest. Oh, he gets a bit squirrely there. That's not going to be an improvement. Well, actually, it was an improvement, but not by much. That moment on the exit of turn 10 almost cost him this session. And he's going to need to go again to try, if he wants to try and get out of Q1. But then again, there's not that much. There's not many people in this session. There's only 16. As Hyper comes out for an out lap. Bradley's invalidated, so he won't be setting a time on this lap. Norchiyamo starts his flying lap. Onto the curbs, through turn 1. Nice and planted. No rear end squirreliness. Keep the car planted. Foot to the floor. through this first sector. That's a 16.0. That was not purple. It looks like the Alfa Romeos has another moment, and the entry of the pit lane as Dan Edwin goes fast as a 104.0. Through turn 4, the McLaren goes, getting a little bit wobbly. But you gotta keep it planted. Nice amount of curb. Going through... Ooh. A bit of an optical illusion there. It looked like he was back-enders going around, but it wasn't. The change of direction was very sudden there. Across the line, what's he gonna do this time? It's a 104.310, slightly behind Collins' best time, and a little over 3/10 ahead of his teammate Wisenheimer. Meanwhile, Faco actually improved his time, and he went 104.079, slightly behind Dan Edwin. And currently, it's Hyper and... Oh, where's Bradley? No, Bradley came into the pits. And he's coming out again, so he must have had a moment. So Hyper, currently the only person on a fast lap here. Over the hill. What's the change of direction going to be like? He takes quite a lot of entry curb into turn 9. Quite a bit of exit curb out of turn 10. Across the line, that is going to be P1 104.005. Almost exactly 1 minute 4 seconds. Meanwhile, behind, Lennart is going for another lap attempt. He's using up his medium tyres. The tyre deg is not too bad around the Red Bull ring, so it won't be too much of an issue. So he's probably just wanting to get these tyres out of the way. It's got a bit of slipstream from Hyper's Williams. Takes a lot of curb going into turn 4. And a lot of curb coming out of it, so it just brushes the grass a little bit. Through turn 6, 7, no, 5, 6, this is turn 8 now. I can never remember the corner names, the turn numbers. Through 9 and 10, nice and planted, even though he's on mediums. And what sort of time is this going to be? Across the line, 104.058, so he improves by just over a tenth, and I think we'll be happy with that. I would not be surprised if he retires. Whereas Colin probably retired a bit too early, but you never know. It should be enough. There's no bottom 5. There's only a bottom 1. At this moment in time, 2 people on fast laps. Bradley, who has once again invalidated, and Hyde, who is... I think Hyde is doing better. Not certain. Oh, actually, no. Hyde has invalidated. I don't know if that was just now, or if he did that earlier, but he's really not having a very good time in the Alpha. Bradley doesn't get a time. Obviously, he's going to be on another fast lap. Takes a lot of curb. Would have unsettled the car, I would have thought. Meanwhile, Lennart is probably going to go out again. He's done a slow lap. And then he's going to do another push lap. Meanwhile, we've got Crazy Stephen the Haas going around to finish another flying lap. He's 10 seconds behind, so he's had a cool down lap of his own. We've got the Red Bull duo, who Ivan is starting a lap, or has just finished one. Dan Edwin is starting a lap, though, that's for certain. Ivan did not improve. Gives a bit of toe to his teammate, actually. I wonder how well that will affect Dan Edwin. We'll see. We'll ride on board with the Red Bull driver here. A brief yellow flag around turn 4, sorry. Takes a lot of, and he invalidates. So unfortunately, that's been a bit of a waste of time. But I wouldn't be too plussed about it, as he does have a very good time. So don't worry. Don't worry, mate. Meanwhile, Hyde is going on for his attempt again. Sounded a bit slow there. He's actually going rather slow. That's a very slow Sector 2 time. He's 6 seconds behind his personal best. So either he's used up his tyres too much, or I think you need to let that Ferrari pass. That's Nevo. And he's invalidated as well. So everyone's invalidating on this circuit. And Nevo is not going for another attempt. And Hyde might be out of tyres. In fact, Nevo is retired. He thinks he's going to be fine. Next kind of flying lap is Mokrane in the second Alfa Romeo. He's slightly behind Tomer in the Williams. Not certain if he's been pushing here. Possibly. Not taking as much curb. Wants to keep it off the curb because you never know how the cars will act. You can never predict how the cars will react in this game. 4.6 seconds slower, so now he must be on a fast lap. But he immediately invalidates. Ivan is retired. A lot of people retiring from the session now, happy with their times, as they're not really going to be in much danger of being knocked out. At most, 2 people will be knocked out, I reckon. Just Hyde and Mokrane. Though it's probably just going to be Hyde, who is once again on an outlap. As is Bradley and Wisenheimer. Yellow flag in the second sector. That's a McLaren. Wisenheimer wanting to gain a little bit of space, but doesn't need to because the Alfa Romeo pulls into the pits. 39 seconds left in the session as Wisenheimer begins his final flying lap attempt. Actually, maybe he just finished it. He was 1/10 faster. Meanwhile, Tomer comes across the line, 6/10 slower, but he does get another attempt here. Mokrane will not get another attempt, but Hyde will. So we're right on board with these guys. Wisenheimer has not invalidated. Neither Bradley has, though, so Bradley's session is over. Tomer has not invalidated, nor has Hyde. At this rate, I don't think it really matters who gets what the times these guys get. It depends on what Hyde does, really, and then if Hyde does improve by about 6/10, it will be his teammate who gets knocked out instead. So it's going to be an Alfa Romeo knocked out either way. Wisenheimer comes across the line, only improves by 2.5 tenths, and only goes to 10th even. Tomer next across the line, opens the DRS, only improves by a single tenth. But Hyde does manage to go 13th, so that's the lap he was looking for, and so that means Mokrane is going to be the first driver knocked out of this session. And that is a bit disappointing for Mokrane, as this is his first session back for a little bit. To be knocked out by a teammate. But the question is, how many tyres has Hyde used? Well, I'm unable to... Actually, I can tell. Hyde used 3 sets of soft tyres. So he's probably banking on getting a good qualifying too. But really, you really don't want to be using that many tyres in Q1. Oh dear. Not a good session for either of the Alfa Romeo drivers. Mercedes not far from the knockout zone either. So Q2 up next. We are down to 15 drivers, though that's only a loss of one person. And this will decide the next 5 grid slots on the grid. Obviously, in case you didn't know. So we're looking for the next 5 slowest drivers to knock out, and then we'll be onto the top 10 shootout. Just waiting for 2 people to load. Loading is complete. So the 4 cars coming out, all in quick succession. Got an Alfa Romeo, a Haas. So that's Hyde, Crazy Steve. That's, I don't know which of the Ferraris it was. It's never okay. Whoa! And there goes Wisenheimer. So currently, and that's a bit unfortunate for Tomer, who spins almost as soon as he comes down to the pits. You don't really want to be doing that, mate. Once again, it was Hyde who took the first car out on track. Really not looking very stable. And he's taking this out lap like it's a flying lap. Kind of like what I do, but he's the first across the line to start a flying lap. He's going to have a little bit of traffic to contend with, depending on how fast he's going. Takes turn 1 quite well. Through the non-existent turn 2. Into the hard braking zone of turn 3. Would have... never mind. Opens the JRS. Foot hard to the floor as he goes into turn 4. Does not take a massive amount of curb. I mean, it's the way it is. His car wasn't so far over that the only things left of the track were just a couple of tyres. But yeah, currently fastest man on track because he's the first person on a flying lap. As the Aston Martin lets him past. Comes through turn 9. He's going to have a Red Bull to contend with. Going to get maybe a little bit of a slipstream from the Red Bull. And the benchmark is a 105.0. That is not a particularly good time. Next car across the line should be Crazy Steve, who immediately goes 0.5 better. Almost exactly. Not Wisenheimer, that's... Tiamo Powers, the next car across, goes 0.1 faster than Crazy Steve. Where's Nevo? Nevo's next, who goes second fastest, 104.4. We've got a Aston Martin, that's Colin, 104.2. Tomer is next, he goes 5th fastest on the medium tyres, 104.9. Wisenheimer must have invalidated his lap time as Faco goes fastest in the session so far, 104.1. And Wisenheimer once again has invalidated his lap time. So that's really unfortunate for the McLaren driver. Dan Edwin goes slowest, 114.0. Evidently that was just a cool-down lap of some description. And Leonard has gone 6th, 104.6. Meanwhile, at the back, Currently the only people with times not on the board are Wisenheimer, Ben Dixon, TOS 1981, Ivan Hafterkamp, Bradley, who is pitting, and Hyper. I don't know who's the next person across the line. Should be Tiamo Power to set his next flying lap. So he was on a cooldown lap. He's beginning a flying lap now, as is Wisenheimer. Also got Faco trying to improve. Does not improve as he was on a cooldown lap as well. Not certain what's going on with Ben Dixon here, as Ivan should be setting a lap time. Ivan goes fastest, almost exactly 64 seconds. There's also an Aston Martin going over the line. Looked like Leonard, he did not improve. Steve going out once again on a fast lap. Lets off immediately as he has invalidated. And that's a system I don't like, where you go over a curb and it invalidates your next lap, and that's just really irritating. TOS goes 7th fastest, 104.5. Has actually gone ahead of Steve, even though he set that time after Steve did. So that's strange. Faco goes even faster, 103.8. While Stan Edwin comes into the pits, we've got Aston Martin. That will be Leonard trying to improve. He has gone a 10th faster than his previous best, but he only improves to 7th. So the mediums don't seem to be doing so well for him here. But then again, he did use them in Q1 as well. Next across the line on a fast lap is, I think, going to be Wisenheimer. Yep. Coming very fast through 9 and 10. Much faster than the previous two cars. What time is this going to be? It's an improvement of only 1.139 of a second. Only 104.5. As Faco comes into the pits. Leonard is the next person on a flying lap. Or actually, is he on a flying lap? He might be on a cooldown. And in fact, he's on a pit. Oh, actually, he was trying to pit. He lost it on the entry. Hyde is also pitting. Hyper on an outlap, as is Toma. Across the line to start his lap. Toma has already invalidated. Winter cuts over the curb a bit too much. Hyper does not invalidate, and so he's going to be able to continue his his attempt. This will be his first time on the board. Deep into turn 3. Little bit of a loose rear end. Also a bit of wheel spin by the sounds of things. Getting a bit of a slipstream from Toma, his teammate. Taking a lot of curb into turn 4. This should be a decent lap, I think. Doesn't take a lot of curb on the exit of turn 4. Going into turn 6 here. Decent amount of curb on the outside. I don't like that camera view, but I can't change it. Lots of curb on the entry into turn 9. And then through turn 10. Oh, and that is not an invalidation. He gets it by the skin of his teeth. Goes P3. 104.016. That was a very good attempt. Colin pitting meanwhile. Red Bull letting the Mercedes pass. Then Edwin on the medium tyres, going to try and go faster than his first attempt, which is on the soft tyres. Not certain that's a good idea, but you never know. It's never really worked for me. Ooh, that was a bit of a loose rear end too. Oh, and once again, the rear end tries to go off by itself, but he got it back under control. And he goes down into turn 4. Takes a lot of curb, so much curb, in fact, that he was almost over the edge. Fall off the world if you keep going. Careful not to invalidate. Oh, and he snap of oversteer, and he goes across the gravel, and that's his lap attempt over. So we've got Crazy Steve in the Haas behind that. Migrating host are having an issue, or Colin is having an issue, and Crazy Steve has decided to abort that attempt at the last second. Comes into the pits. Nevo is the next one going to be across the line. Doesn't invalidate. Goes by the slit of his teeth. Goes P4. Ben Dixon next. In the number 8 Ferrari he has invalidated. So he'll be trying to get a lap time in right now. Right on board for now. Careful not to invalidate. Going through the non-existent turn 2, up to turn 3, lots of curb onto the entry of turn 3. Little bit of a looser rear end, but keeps it under control. Down the second straight towards turn 4, fair amount of curb. People are retiring now, happy with their times. The Ferrari, though, of Ben Dixon has yet to set a time, as track limits are evil. Everyone knows that, especially strict track limits, which are so strict that real F1 doesn't even adhere to them. Lots of curb into turn 9. Oh, and gets a lot of oversteer there. Doesn't invalidate, though. But at least it's going to be a time on the board. It's a 104.446. He's going to want to go again, I think. So he'll be on a cooldown lap. Leonard, meanwhile, is on the cusp of being knocked out, but he decided that the mediums weren't enough. So he went on softs. So he'll start the race on the soft tyres, and he does a best time of the session so far with a 103.7. Next up, the two McLarens, both on hot laps. Through the penultimate series, the final series of corners. Both McLarens looking reasonably planted. Tiamo goes 7th. Wissenheimer does not improve. So currently, it's looking like one McLaren will be knocked out. Unless this is teamwork, maybe Wissenheimer was on a cooldown lap. And he goes ahead, get a nice slipstream from Tiamo. Bit of wheel spin on the exit of 3 there. That would appear to have been the case. Tiamo was doing his fast lap, and then he gave a bit of assistance to his teammate. Let's see what the Sector 2 split is going to be like. Goes through turn 6. Very well planted here. He's matched his previous best. So at the moment, it's not looking like Wissenheimer is going to improve. I didn't catch his Sector 1 split though, so maybe he will. Looked rather slow out through that corner there, and only improves to 10th. So 104.402. He'll want to go. Oh, and he spins out! Oh! And that's his front wing off, so I think that's going to be Wissenheimer out of the session. It's going to take him too long to get back to the pits and repair that front wing. So Wissenheimer is out, and he has already been knocked back down to P11. So Wissenheimer is going to be out of qualifying here. He will start P11 best.
Meanwhile, Bradley is once again having connection issues, so he's down in P15. Tomer going through to start his next flying lap, as well as Dan Edwin. Tiamo looking to improve as well by the looks of things. I didn't catch the split time there though. In fact, he is pitting, but he's not going to have the time to get the car out again. So currently, it's only Ben Dixon and Crazy Steve who have a real chance of getting out of the bottom 5. Crazy Steve will be across the line first. At risk here is Tomer and Dan Edwin, who the Red Bull driver not having the best session. And Crazy Steve goes 6th and knocks Dan Edwin out of qualifying, whilst Ben Dixon has given up the ghost and has retired. So Ben Dixon will start 13th. Meanwhile, Tomer is coming through the final series of corners, and now he's going to pit. Actually, no. Dan Edwin will not be able to improve as he has invalidated. So he's just going to come across the finish line here. And that will be him knocked out. Real big shame for the Red Bull driver there. But at least he gets a free tyre choice for the start of the race. Something you can't say about the rest of everyone in the top 10. Only one person in the top 10 will start on a tyre that isn't the softs, and that will be Faco on the mediums. But has he made the right decision there? Who knows? So I'm just waiting for Steve to
retire.
That's wrong. Chat should not be disabled for this live stream. What's going on? I'm gonna see what's going on here.
My stream's lagging again.
Oh my god, I did not see what was going on. Is that better? Why does it say chat is disabled? It's not disabled. Okay. Someone must have sent me a Steam message or something, I don't know.
That happens. So I'm gonna briefly... I think I forgot to turn on the Steam overlay off, so I'll have to turn that off quickly.
Right. Oh, and now I don't have sound. That's wrong.
Okay, just needed to pause it. Right. Give me a second whilst I pull the stream up on my phone. I did that last week and I didn't have any issues, and then I didn't do it this week and then I had issues, so bear with me here. So if it does start lagging again, I'll be able to see on my phone. It looks okay, sort of. Don't know why it's doing that. put that on to watch later. Close the stream. Maybe that... Not the stream, the edge. Oh, that's really weird. So I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. See if it looks okay on the stream. I don't know why it's doing that. It's fine for me, but it's just something's dropping frames all over the place. I don't know why. I mean, I can't change anything. It's using the right encoders. Well, it looks okay at the moment. It's not lagging at the moment, but I'll keep an eye out on it. At the moment, I don't know what's causing it. I can only keep an eye out. Right, status update. We're about 4 minutes into the session. Currently, we have 5 times on the board. Currently, fastest driver is Hyper 103792. Faco is next fastest 103894. Colin is third fastest 104157. Nevo fourth fastest 104178. Toma fifth 104.707. TOS takes fifth with a 104.508. Next driver across the line looks like it will be not Ivan Camp, not Tiamo either. So currently we've got Steve in the pits. He probably only has one fresh set of tyres to use. That's TOS comes... Is that TOS? No, that's an Aston Martin. That is not Leonard. It was Colin who's coming out. Steve now comes out for a lap. Outlap, even. Now we've got Nevo coming into the pits. That was a bit fast. Lucky you didn't get a pit penalty there, but maybe you did. I don't see a penalty. Speeding in the pit lane gets a warning. Yeah, do that too many times and you will get a penalty. Lots of people getting invalidated lap times here. So both Aston Martins on outlaps, as is Crazy Steve and Tiamo Power. Colin is the first driver to start an outlap of these people. Of the 5 cars out on track at the moment. Next up will be Crazy Steve. Flat through turn 2 deep into turn 3. Will we get any wheel spin? Maybe a little bit, but rear end doesn't go walkies. Flatten the throttle, pedal to the metal, into turn 4. Lots of curb on the entry there. Doesn't take that much curb on the exit though.
absolutely planted through turn 6. Into turn 7. Didn't look the happiest there to me, but maybe it was fine. Lots of curb into turn 9. That was close to an invalidation there. Looked like he went over the white lines to me. Across the line, doesn't improve. I want the lap data back, please. Next up, Crazy Steve to set his first flying lap. To finish, even. Opens the DRS. Across the line. Slowest time so far, 105.2. Meanwhile, Leonard goes first. P1, 103.759. And Faco, across the line next, goes even faster, 103.722. So, currently, a very close battle for P1 between Hyper, Leonard, and Faco. Next up is going to be Tiamo Power and... Oof. TOS getting a very wobbly there. I think Tiamo... I don't recall if Tiamo was an out lap there. I don't think so. So it must have been validated. So Tiamo may not get many attempts at a fast lap here. Both the McLaren and the Mercedes trying to do faster attempts. Though TOS must have invalidated through turn 10. So that's unfortunate for him. Nevo goes across the line. Doesn't improve. Must have been on the cooldown lap. Crazy Steve coming through turn 10 now. Doesn't improve. We got possibly a spinner. That's Faco. He must have spun on the entry into the pits. Tiamo coming through turn 9. Lots of curb into the entry of turn 10. Across the line. Goes P5. 104.1. Whilst TOS begins another attempt at setting a faster time than a 104.5. Ivan, the only remaining Red Bull, on an out lap. Nevo has invalidated again. Who is this Subzing person? Let me guess. Someone who's been able to join when they're not meant to be. And in fact, Nevo is going to pit. Steve coming through turn 10. What sort of time is this going to be? It looks like it's going to be better. It is. He goes P7 and goes ahead of TOS and Toma. That's not Toma. That's Hyper, who's going to start his next lap. TOS across the line, improves, but not. In fact, yeah, he improved by about 3/10 there, I think. So he goes P7, pushes Steve down to P8. Next across the line will be Ivan and the Red Bull. Through turn 9. Through turn 10, and he's invalidated. Ah. So he has to get this lap right. He will get at most 2 more attempts at a... Oh, and he goes round! So he's gonna need to get this outlap done very quickly. Otherwise, I don't think he'll have many attempts after this. He had the possibility of getting 2 fast laps in. Now he's only gonna get 1. Actually, no, he was only going to get 1 in the first place. My mistake. Ivan has actually retired, so he's had enough. Ivan will not set a time. Meanwhile, Toma comes across the line, improves to P8, splits the Mercedes and the Haas. Next across the line is going to be... Not Nevo, he's on an out lap. Where's Tiamo? I don't know why it was still showing Brad Nevo when I was on Tiamo. Williams are playing catch up. Hyper giving one hell of a slipstream to Tomer. Meanwhile, Faco is on his way to completing his lap, so this is going to be his attempt for pole position here. He's currently a little under a tenth behind Lennart. He improves 103.5, currently on provisional pole. What can Tomer do? Next person across the line. Comes through turn 10 across the line for P5, 104.1. Tiamo power does not improve, stays P6. Nevo will be next, as well as the two Aston Martins. In fact, Nevo has invalidated. Nevo will not be able to fight for pole here. Next up is Colin, followed by Lennart. Colin comes through turn 9 across the curbs, really looking like he was going to invalidate there. Through the final turn, across the line, does not improve. And Lennart will not improve, which means that Faco is going to be on pole for the Austrian Grand Prix. Nicely done, chaps. Nicely done. So, the top 10 are Faco, P1, Lennart, P2, Hyper, P3, Colin, P4, Tomer, P5, Tiamo, P6, Nevo, P7, TOS, P8, Crazy Steve, P9, and Ivan, P10. With no time set. And so, we get into the race. Or, well, we will when everyone finishes loading. Looking at you, Hyde. No sweat. It happens. Not everyone has beastly computers. I myself don't have a particularly beastly computer. It's mostly... It loads quickly, mostly due to the fact that it has an SSD. But yeah, the specs of a PC also help. Not just the SSD. Yeah, the track limits on this track are evil. They're not great. Like, in some places, you can take the car freaking miles off the track and you won't get penalised. But in other places, you so much as go 1 inch across the white line and it's like, no, you get that's invalidated. Lap time deleted. It's evil. Damn, this stream was actually lagging for half an hour? Bloody hell. That's so stupid. Oh, and it's raining for the race! So, the tyre choices don't matter at all here. I don't know what the weather's going to be like for the rest of the race, but at this moment in time, it is raining. So it is effectively a blank slate here.
Yeah, everyone hates strict corner cutting.
But for some reason, that's all everyone ever uses these days. So, is anyone on wet tyres? No, everyone's on intermediates. And Faco lets Lennart go past, even though there's really no point. Technically, that would get you penalised in real life, but this isn't real life. Meanwhile, Hyper is the George Russell of this game. He's gone P3 in a Williams. But then again, we do have an Aston Martin and AlphaTauri up there too. And it's looking like it's going to be a completely wet race, but I don't think there's a way for me to be able to tell if there is going to be weather. No, I can't tell what the weather's going to be like. So Faco biding his time, but Lennart, a bit of impatient, flies ahead of the rest of the field, whilst everyone else is still taking their time. So his tyres are going to be nice and cold, I reckon. Everyone else is taking their time. Lennart wanted to get the race over and done with, it seems. Rest of the field filing onto the grid. Doesn't appear that it will be too much of an issue for Lennart. Everyone else has kept relative pace, but his tyres will be a bit cooler, I think. Grid is formed. Waiting for the lights. And we're getting a bit of a sound bug. I don't see any lights. Lights are coming on now. 5 lights on. It's lights out and away we go for a very wet Austrian Grand Prix. And Lennart has caught Faco on the line into turn 1. Is there any accidents? Anyone going off? Doesn't look like it. Hyper was looking for a bit of a... looking to try and get past the AlphaTauri. He has not. What will it be like into turn 3? Faco covers off the Williams, trying to get back his position from the Aston Martin. Lennart covering off the AlphaTauri by the looks of things. Or maybe that was... oh! And Mokrain has been disqualified. Mokrain did not appear to get the memo that the race had started. So Mokrain was here to bolster the numbers, and in the end his presence was completely pointless, as he got disqualified in the end. So currently, position changes. There have been a few. TOS in the Mercedes is down to P11. Nevo is also down a few places, down to P12, whereas Dixon is up to P9. And Lennart, of course, taking the lead before turn 1 of this race. Looking like it's going to be a one-stop strategy for most people, possibly a two-stop. 3 people have been penalised, given drive-through penalties for speeding under the safety car. That is really not something you should be doing. Ben Dixon goes down. Oh, Lennart has gone onto the grass. That's a good opportunity for Faco to make a dive on the Aston Martin. Is he going to try and do it? No. The Aston Martin has covered him off. Not a lot of battery usage going on. Meanwhile, Hyper is dumping his battery. He's trying to get past Faco. He's looking up the inside, taking the inside line, and he gets past the AlphaTauri. So Faco has lost his pole position, and it's looking like Thomas and the other Williams is trying to go and get past the AlphaTauri as well. Meanwhile, there's an Alpine. The Alpine of Bradley was looking a bit messy through turn 6. As Mason, not Mason. That's my friend playing Aliens. That was not something I wanted to see. Was some people are taking their drive-through penalties now. Williams are hyper going through the outside of turn 3. This is looking very tight. At the Leonard squeezing the Williams and currently holding on to P1. But that Williams is looking extremely racy. He's going to try and go around the outside. Leonard covers off the inside. Slight amount of contact. The Aston Martin remains in the lead for now. Oh, and there was a bit of a twitch there from the Williams, so I don't know what that was all about. Which means Hyper has gone back down to P3. Not certain what that was. Possibly a controller glitch. Maybe there was lag, desync. It could have been contact on his screen. Stream's looking a bit laggy again, I hate to say. Even though I turned off the Steam overlay, it still messed things up. So Faco takes the fastest lap so far, 1:14.1. I'm going to briefly window the game. And then we're going to go back. So apologies for the brief interruption. Dan Edwin has DNF'd. Didn't catch what that was all about. Faco apparently 1.3 seconds behind Leonard. That's... Oh. What's going on here? Something wrong with the stream now. Don't know what's going on there. I think I might be having issues with the stream. No, it looks like it was just my phone. It's still looking a bit laggy. I don't know why that is. It's not perfect, so I apologize for the quality of this stream. I don't know why it's doing that. The settings are exactly the same as they were last week and the time before that. Currently, it's the two McLarens are on P6 and P7. Two Williams occupy P3 and P4. Meanwhile, Colin is down to P10. What appears to have been a horrendous start for the Aston Martin. Yeah, what happened there, Dan Edwin? What happened? I didn't catch what happened to you. Now Bradley has coming out of the pits. Looks like he's served his drive-through potentially. Not much going on at the moment. Colin has fallen down to P11 now, as he's been overtaken by Nevo in the Ferrari. From 2.5 delta positive to 1 second negative. So you picked up a drive-through through no fault of your own by the sound of things. You know, CRS is coming into the pits. Ooh, and just gets the speed down. He's got a broken front wing. So that appears to be happening a lot in this session. People breaking their front wings. Currently, Leonard leading by just over 5/10 to Faco, who's just a little over 3/10 ahead of Hyper. Meanwhile, Tomer has fallen 1.4 seconds behind his teammate and is under pressure now from Ivan Hafterkamp in the Red Bull. Meanwhile, further down, Crazy Steve is under attack by the Ferrari of Ben Dixon. The Haas is making Steve is making this Haas about 3 million meters wide. But how long can he keep this going for? He's got a lot of ERS, but that's something you can generally do quite well in the rain. You can keep a lot of ERS. Meanwhile, there's now quite a decent gap to. Something has happened to Hyper here. I think he must have gone wide. So currently, Hyper has fallen off the battle to Leonard and Faco. Meanwhile, Colin's pace seems to be just non-existent. In fact, I don't think Colin is there. Colin is a ghost. So that's why Colin has been falling down. Colin has connection issues by the looks of things, which is just a really unfortunate. Oh, lag spike. Yeah, that's happening a lot with this game these days. Currently, Leonard leads this race 7 laps in. Faco is keeping his distance, keeping the distance to around 0.5 of a second. Hyper, who was right up the chuff, the diffuser of the AlphaTauri, has now fallen to about 1.8 seconds behind. Faco gets a penalty for corner cutting. 3 seconds will be added onto his time at the end of the Grand Prix. Let's see if I can't. Still looking a bit chuggy for some reason. Faco has now fallen a second behind Leonard. So I'm not sure if he's let off the pressure there. Meanwhile, Ben Dixon is making his move on the Haas of Crazy Steve. He goes around the inside. Bit of tyre bumping there. As Crazy Steve is making his mission, and he does take the position back. Oh, Tomer has retired. What has happened there? I don't see what's going on. He looks to have gone off. So the Williams of Tomer has crashed. And Nevo is going to be pitting. And Leonard gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Oh, and he goes round! And Leonard's race has turned on its head, and he's crashing intentionally now, I think. He's furious with what's happening here. And now he retires. So what he feels was going to be an excellent race, he has decided to just cast off as Ivan also retires. What's going on with this? And lobby restart, so things have gone majorly wrong for the stream here. Well, not the stream, the race. So, yeah. And something's going on with my stream as well. Because for some reason, it thinks it's finished. I need to see what's going on. Because something is evidently up with my stream. I don't know what's going on with it. The frame rate is not great. Apparently, it's only been going for 3 minutes, which is not possible. I really don't know what's going on with this stream. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. No, hang on, where's things?
Drive-thrus and lag, so there's a lot of lag going on, so this is probably what's going on here. So I'm very confused as to what's happening with my stream, because it keeps ending and restarting. So I'm gonna experiment with something, or try. Because it should not be doing that.
So it looks like we're going to be starting the race again.
We need to get Mockrane back.
So it's not gone to plan, this race. We were about 20 minutes in. If not, well, I don't know, more or less.
But yeah, things have not gone well. Things aren't going well for my stream either. It's buffering. I don't know why.
There should not be anything wrong with the internet. No, the speed, well, that's the download speed.
So download is one thing. But the upload is decent. The upload is fine. So I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, why am I dropping frames? I don't know. I've not done anything wrong. It's just decided to be a douche. Usually a network connection, but there's nothing wrong with my network. I don't get it.
Why does it say it's so poor? There's so much buffering. And now it says it's healthy. Like, what's going on with this bloody stream?
Mind you, it's a million seconds back.
yeah, the stream is
really kind of far behind. Come on, you stupid thing. Well, it looks like we're going into the race again. I mean, thing is, like last week it was fine, right? And the week before that it was fine. Well, not the week, but the race before that. Well, most of it was just last week. So the race before that I did have issues, but not much. That only started when someone sent me a message over Steam. I'll just go with it for now. And the race appears to be starting immediately.
And in fact, yes, it is. So 5 lights out. It's lights out where we go. And once again, Faker has not had a particularly good start. And there's no sign of the Williams pit duo. So Hyper is not there to. The nature of this race has changed completely. Faker once again had a poor start, and it's looking like he's under attack from the second Aston Martin of Colin, and it's looking like it's gonna be an Aston Martin 1-2 before the lap has even really begun. So Faco's going around the outside though. He's gonna get that place back. Goes to the outside of turn 4 even. And once again, Faco back up into P2. But he's still being hounded by the second Aston Martin. Meanwhile, Dan Edwin doesn't appear to have had a great first lap. He's already 4.6 seconds behind Tiamo Power. And yeah, something's not gone right for the Red Bull there. In fact, he's going even slower. So currently, Leonard leads, Faco second, Colin third, Nevo fourth, Ivan fifth, Steve sixth, Ben Dixon seventh, TOS eighth, Wisenheimer ninth, Bradley 10th, Tiamo 11th, and Dan Edwin 12th. We have lost a lot of 4 people. We've lost both the Williams of Hyper and Thoma, and we've lost both the Alfa Romeos of of Mockrane and Hyde. So this is what was shaping up to be a really good race is now turned into this, which is really unfortunate because that race was looking so good. Meanwhile, Ben Dixon gets past Crazy Steve for P6, and Bradley is looking to attack the Mercedes of TOS, looking up the inside of turn 9, but that's not really a place you try and overtake here. Meanwhile, Dan Edwin is falling further and further behind, so I'm wondering if Dan Edwin is just an AI here. It's possible. Leonard still leads. Faco in P2. Not much has changed in the position front, though Bradley is making a move. He's going up the inside of the Mercedes, and he takes P8. Meanwhile, Tiamo and Wisenheimer also take Ps 9 and 10 from the Mercedes, who went deep into a P3, and now he's going to be in last place behind Dan Edwin's Red Bull. So that's been a nightmare corner for TOS there, to lose all those positions in just one corner. Really, just poor luck. Meanwhile, Nevo looking to make a move on Colin for P3, the final podium place. Leonard still leads, 1.2 seconds ahead of Faco, who is 0.6 of a second ahead of Colin, who is 0.3 of a second behind Nevo, who's getting a one hell of a slipstream down the start-finish straight, and then onto the main straight here. What is his top speed going to be like? Is he going to be able to make a move? Not this time. He's got quite a bit of a lock-up there. Looks like he went purple in the first sector there. Meanwhile, he is making a move. He's going up the outside of Colin, and he's currently in the lead. Not in the lead, ahead of Colin, who went up the inside, but Nevo is going to take the position there. So Nevo up into the podium places, but now Colin is making it his mission to get that position back. Bring back the telemetry, bring back the lap data. So Nevo has used quite a bit of his ERS, as has Colin. So they've both roughly used the same amount of ERS. So currently, Colin is down 1 place, Nevo up 2, Ivan up 3, Ben Dixon and Bradley both up 5, Tiamo down 4, Steve down 2, Wisenheimer still in P10, Dan Edwin down 2, and TOS down 6 positions. Now, Ivan is under assault from Ben Dixon in the Ferrari. He's covering off the outside, and Ben Dixon decided not to go up the inside there. Meanwhile, TOS makes a move on Dan Edwin for P11. I've no idea what's going on there. We've got major rain effects spoiling the camera shots here. I don't know why I'm getting camera effects here. I don't want camera effects, but we'll sort it out another time. Meanwhile, voice break. Crazy Steve is down into P9. And he's looking like he's going to lose that as well to Wisenheimer. And Ben Dixon is now right up the diffuser of Ivan. As Ivan dumps his battery, as is Ben Dixon. Ben Dixon goes up the inside on the Red Bull. He's not quite got the position, but now he does. They're neck and neck across the DRS line. And currently Ivan has won out. But he's going to hold him to the outside of turn 4, and Ivan manages to hold on to P5, but Ben Dixon comes back around for another attempt, and currently is still down in P6. So this is where the main battle is currently. Ivan with 2 cars very close behind Ben Dixon in the Ferrari, who takes a quick peek up the inside of turn 9, and Bradley in the Alpine. And it looks like that Bradley might get past Ben Dixon before Ben Dixon can get past Ivan. Bradley does take a look up the inside of turn 1, but decides not to do it there. And this is where the decision is going to be made. Ivan covers the inside, effectively blocks both cars, but Bradley does get past Ben Dixon, and that's just not the scenario that the Ferrari driver would have wanted, because he was attacking Ivan, and now things have not gone well for him, and now he's Bradley has used a lot of his CRS and he makes contact with the Red Bull. Oh, and lots of loose rear end action, wheel spin. Really not your friend in these conditions. And so he's going to have to hold off on his assault for P5 for just a few more corners before he can take his assault back into turn 1. Meanwhile, Faco has managed to catch up to close the gap to Lennart somewhat. He was about a second behind Lennart a few laps ago, but now he's 6/10. Ben Dixon has been holding off on his ERS deployment, whilst Bradley has been using a lot of it, and that was a poor exit out of turn 1 for Ivan, and that's the golden opportunity for Bradley to get past. They're neck and neck at the moment, but Bradley goes up the inside, squeezes the Red Bull out to the outside curb, and Ivan has lost P5. It was a valiant defense, but he's gonna now try and come back. Doesn't quite have the line there into P4, turn 4. And now he'll just have to hold off for a few more corners, but he's now under attack once again from Ben Dixon, who has quite a lot of ERS battery left. Oh, and Bradley has had another disconnection, and so that means Ivan is going to get back past. So that's really not good news for Bradley as he loses both those positions. All that hard work undone by a spotty connection. Meanwhile, Faco has fallen behind Lennart again. He's back down to a second. Ben Dixon, dumping his ERS, goes up the inside of Ivan. But not quite the right opportunity. Just a little too far back. Tiamo has also got past the Alpine of Bradley, who's now under attack from Crazy Steve. It looks like he's back now. Oh, but he gets a lot of wheel spin out of turn 4, and that's gifted the position to Steve. He holds to the inside of turns 6 and 7, and that he manages to hold on. So he briefly lost the position to Steve. Meanwhile, Ben Dixon has fallen a little way behind Ivan. Lots of battery deployment going on here. It looks like he may have run out of deployment at one point, but still holding on to a little bit more battery than Ivan. He's now dumping it again, both the Red Bull and the Ferrari. Using lots of battery. He's not going to make an attempt right now. Looks like he'll be wanting to use that battery going down into turn 4, and he dumps his battery. Both cars using a lot of battery, one to attack, one to defend. Ben Dixon goes up the inside, but is not enough to stick just yet. He has to yield to the Red Bull once more, and this is going to be very frustrating for the Ferrari driver, as he's going to want to try and get past this Red Bull as quickly as he can. But the question is just how much drag does this Ferrari have? It's looking like he may have a bit more drag than the Red Bull. Using so much energy that he's running out of deployment just before the finishing line. He's closer than ever before. He's really close now. He's got a lot of slipstream. He's dumping the ERS. He's really close now. He goes up the inside. He keeps the ERS usage going, but he's still not far enough ahead. And he gets a little bit of a loose rear end there, and he has to back off once again, which is just not what he's going to be wanting. Now Bradley is desperately trying to get past
Tiamo to get his positions back after his connection issues.
Oh, and Ivan had to spin. Ivan lost the pressure on Ivan appears to have been too much. That, or he had a collision. So this is a terrible race for the Red Bull duo. Things have not gone well here. I don't know if that may end up being a investigation on Ben Dixon's part. So now the battle falls down to Tiamo and Bradley. I'm still having issues with my stream. So Ivan pits, probably to get new tyres. The Alpine very close behind, desperately trying to get those positions back. But it's probably not close enough at this point in time. And at the moment, it is definitely not close enough. Meanwhile, the gap between Leonard and Faco is up to 1.3 seconds. Faco is not having a very good race here. He lost pole position twice today, and Leonard is just having such a good starts recently. So this is looking like it's going to be another Aston Martin victory in a row. Things are looking very stagnant up in the top four. No car is able to make headway on the others. It's like a DRS train, which Leonard is the locomotive in. Meanwhile, Bradley is making a move. Was going up the outside of Tiamo Power here. Very equal there, but Tiamo last of the late breakers. Bradley had a bit of a lock-up too, so the move just wasn't really to be for Bradley there. As he goes off the track to try and make his move, he was entirely on the curbs there. Looking for every opportunity to get past this McLaren. This is probably a driver that Bradley did not want to be behind. This is a man who can win races. Really close once again, using so much. Oh, Ivan retires. He's just as Bradley gets past the McLaren, and a move that he finally made, and now he starts to make his way back up the order to try and catch up to the Ferrari of Ben Dixon. And things are looking really kind of stagnant here now. Can Tiamo get back past the Alpine? No, he's losing ground. Bradley is just that much faster than Tiamo. So currently, Nevo is the closest driver to anyone. Actually, Wittenheimer is quite close to Crazy Steve, but he's still yet to get past the Uralkali Haas, which still has a the Haas still has a bit of a disco shark fin going on there. We're almost halfway through this race. Oh, it looked like there was a collision there for a second, but there was not. And so currently, nothing's really happening. There's not enough cars on the field. Everyone's getting pretty spread out. Nevo is actually quite close to Faco right here. He's 3/10 behind the AlphaTauri, and he's got quite a lot of ERS to play with. So that maybe Nevo is watching my stream or something, and he's heard, oh, but he gets a wheel spin out of turn 4, and all that progress he made has now been lost, and now he is under attack from Colin Hobenberg.
in the other Aston Martin, who's desperate to get his P3 back. What can Colin do here? He's got plenty of battery to play with, but so does Nevo. What can Nevo do to defend his position? He's getting a lot of it. Oh, and he goes off the track again. Colin is going to get past. Nevo's race has turned up on its head within only a few corners. And the Ferrari goes off the track again. What is going on for the Ferrari? I don't know if there's a way for me to tell. I don't think there is. But yeah, and TOS gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, which is not something you want to do. So that's just utter disaster for Nevo there, who was holding P3 for so long, and then he just loses it of all of his own accord. Or maybe the car just got away from him there, but yeah. That's really disastrous for Nevo there, and now it's up to him to see if he can get back past the Aston Martin. But who knows? It doesn't look like it. He's falling a little bit behind Colin now. Meanwhile, Lennart comes in to make a pit stop, the second driver to make a pit stop in this race. No, actually third, I think. Comes in for fresh intermediates, which by the sound of things means that the rain is not going to go away. And he'll come out behind Wissenheimer in P9. So is this the golden goose? Is this strategy going to pay dividends? Well, with any luck it should, if the rain doesn't go away. Meanwhile, Nevo, very close to Colin, blocks up again though. And once again, the tyres just don't seem to be wanting to cooperate. And he's just getting a little bit squirrely on the exits of some of these corners. Across the curbs, Colin was almost entirely on the curbs. Nevo gets a bit of a wobble again. And no one is going to pit on this occasion. At this point in time, Nevo taking a bit of the grass, but not losing out too much. And it looks like Crazy Steve may have had an incident, as Wissenheimer comes into the pits, as has Bradley. As well as Dan Edwin. So we've got a few more people making pit stops now. But they're all mostly at the back of the field, so Lennart has been promoted up into P7. It's not quite the mad rush for the pit stops that maybe Lennart was hoping for, but Colin is not losing too much ground to Faco, so he's at least keeping Faco decent here. Keeping him on his toes. If anything, he seems to be closing the gap a little bit. So maybe the wet weather is not Faco's friend here. And Faco does not come into the pits, nor does Colin. Nevo does, though. So this could be crucial. Goes a little bit wide. Not too much of an issue. Ben Dixon retires. I'm not sure what's happened there. It looks like he's made a mistake. He's slid. Had a spin, and there's a safety car. So this could be exactly what Lennart is looking for here. Actually, this could actually be disastrous. As Lennart comes out in P4 behind Nevo. So this is absolute disaster for Lennart. This is the perfect opportunity for Faco to pit here. Faco could make a free pit stop here. Could potentially make a free pit stop. If there's still about 17 seconds back to Nevo, maybe 19.
looks like he could have a decent chance. Oh, and Bradley has caused a collision. I think that'll get I think that will be appealed later, because that did not seem legitimate to me. So does Faco come into the pits? Looks like he might be. Yes, he is. He comes to the pits, and Colin is also pitting. So this is crucial. This could be absolutely crucial for Faco. If this pit stop is perfect. As Leonard comes out. Whoa, what's going on here? Oh, no, it was a bit of lag. Okay. Something was going on there. But yes, Faco comes out of the pits into the lead. So this has gone absolutely disastrously for Leonard, as he's lost P1 and he's now down into P4. So that's just not the what he wanted to happen. Whatever happened to Ben Dixon there, it looks like he just lost it on the exit of 9, entry of 10, and he just went straight into a wall. As Nevo makes a rather interesting line through the straight, goes onto the grass. I don't know why he'd do that. We're going to be waiting here for a little while, I think, as everyone's got to catch up. Currently, Toss 1981, 50 seconds behind the leader, but as things will pan out, all he has to do is just finish the race and he'll get a point to his name. So Faco leads. Colin trails in P2, Nevo P3, Leonard P4, Tiamo P5, Crazy Steve P6, Bradley P7. He has a 5-second time penalty, which I assume will be removed after the race if he doesn't make another pit stop. Wizen Hetmar in P8, Dan Edwin P9, and 30 seconds behind is Toss 1981. So position changes. Faco is now back in the lead. Colin up 1, Nevo up 2, Leonard down 3. That can't be right. Should be down 2, I think. Tiamo down 1. Crazy Steve is equal. Bradley up 5. Wusenheimer up 2. Dan Edwin equal. Toss down 4. Currently, though, Toss has the fastest lap, 1:12.259, whereas Faco is in a 1:12.6, and Leonard a 1:12.8. So actually, depends really. Currently, Toss has made 2 stops. Everyone else has made 1 stop. Everyone's on inters. Bradley is the only driver with penalties at this moment in time. But as I said, those will almost certainly be removed. Those will probably be removed after the race, unless he serves the penalty. So with any luck, the race will get back underway. There's 14 laps remaining. And what Faco will want to be doing is pulling away from Colin. So there we go, confirmation, safety car in this lap, as someone wipes out a distance board, a brake marker board, that's what it's called. Well, there should be no damage from that, those things don't really cause damage. So now Faker just has to hold the field up, but he's going very quickly. You do know that if you go too fast, you'll get penalised. But he's gonna hold them up now, and there he goes. He goes for it, and the race is back underway. Faco leading, and he has a 6/10 lead on Colin at the moment. Looks like there's a position change further down the field. There's been a mistake down the field, I think. As someone is going off, that's Wissenheim. That's Tiamo Power who's gone off the field. Something went wrong for the McLaren driver there. And Wissenheimer is also down into P8 as Dan Edwin has got up into P8. But is now back down into... Getting a bit confused here. Nevo very, very close to Colin there, but having to back off a little bit. Colin, meanwhile, losing a bit of ground. There's another accident in Sector 2. It's the Haas of Crazy Steve goes round. Unlucky 13. So things did not go well for the Haas driver there. And that's promoted Dan Edwin, Wissenheimer, Toss and Tiamo Power up one position each. Meanwhile, Faco and Colin separated by 7/10. Nevo is also 7/10 behind Colin. Meanwhile, Lennart is 2.5 seconds behind Nevo, so his race has turned on its head. He was looking for a certain win, and now it's just going to be a P4, unless something goes wrong for one of the top three here. Meanwhile, Colin has used a lot of his energy, it would appear. Quite a lot of his energy, and he's caught back up somewhat to Faco. Oh, and Bradley has had a mistake. No, in fact, no. He's just decided to retire. And Lennart has left too, so Lennart is having connection issues, which is not going to be good, as this man is looking for another championship. And you really can't afford to have connection issues. So Lennart, who was doing such an incredible job leading this race, is now looking at losing even a P4 finish. Dan Edwin closing up on the ghosted Aston Martin as Nevo goes fastest. 112.1 takes the fastest lap point for now. And Dan Edwin goes through the ghosted Aston Martin. And there we go. Lennart down into P5. Meanwhile, there's not much else action going on. Wissenheimer also catching up to the Aston Martin, as is Tiamo and Toss. And Crazy Steve is still about 3 seconds behind Toss. Faco is now 8.5 tenths ahead of Colin. Without DRS, things are not. It's not so easy to overtake here. Faco appears to have gone purple in Sector 2. As Lennart falls down to P6 now. And Faco goes even faster than Nevo did, 111.8. So he takes the fastest lap point now. As he goes off the track a little bit. Now a second back to Colin. And Nevo appears to have had a bit of a shoddy lap too, as he's now 3.5 seconds behind Colin. And the Aston Martin, not the Aston Martin, the Red Bull of Dan Edwin closing up like a raging bull. Meanwhile, Crazy Steve is falling further behind, so he'll be out of contention, but at least he'll get at least 2 points as Lennart's ghosted Aston Martin is still ghosted, and Toss is going to be taking P8 away from him now. So just an absolute disaster for Lennart here. Meanwhile, Faco is only 5/10 ahead of Colin, as Colin appears to be making it his mission to try and get the race win here. He knows he can win. But the question is just how far can he go? He's definitely using a lot of ERS. Meanwhile, Faco is not using so much. He has about 20% more than Colin does. So he's got a bit more to play with. Maybe that's what he's hoping for, that Colin uses too much of his ERS trying to attack Faco, and then Faco can just use it to defend. The gap has closed, though. It's between 3 and 4/10. Dirty Air won't be playing too much of a part here. Faco using some of his ERS into the straight onto turn 9. Colin only has 40% ERS. Faco has 50%. Bit more to play with. Never goes fastest at 111.5. One or the other is going to hope that they're going to hope that one or the other gets a 3-second time penalty. Colin is hoping that his pressure will force Faco to make a mistake. Faco is hoping that Colin will make a mistake from all his pressure, his attacking. Gap has fallen back a little bit. Meanwhile, the two McLarens are closing in on Dan Edwin, who seems to have had an issue. He's fallen behind Nevo by 3.8 seconds. And he goes straight across the curb there, so he's really testing his luck. Seeing how much he can get away with. He goes wide! So he's probably used up, he's either using up exploits, or he's getting warnings for that. Goes wide again. We can look at the race director, see if he's getting anything. Exceeded track limits, so yes, he has exceeded track limits a couple of times. So he really can't afford to be doing that again. And Lennart is going to be falling down into P9 and last. Really don't know what's happened to the Aston Martin driver. Not sure what happened, why his connection's gone. Maybe he was hit by lightning, we don't know. But what was looking to be a guaranteed victory is now turned into guaranteed 9th place. It's Crazy Steve manages to get past the ghost of Lennart. And that's just a real shame for the Season 1 champion, unless he can manage to get back into the race somehow. But it's not looking likely, as Nevo improves his fastest lap, 111.570. And Dan Edwin picks up a 3-second time penalty, which means he will, if he can't gain 3 seconds on Wissenheimer, he will fall down to P6. And Wissenheimer seems to smell blood. He's closing in on the Red Bull. Dan Edwin definitely pushed his luck too far. And now he's paying for it. So he'll want to try and decrease the damage and see if he can at least pull out further. Oh no, he goes off! And I don't know what happened there. It looks like he lost control through 6. And he just cut across so many corners, and Dan Edwin is out of the race. I don't know what happened there. Maybe it'll tell me in the stream. We are down to 8 drivers. Tiamo, very close to his teammate, getting a slipstream from Wissenheimer. They're both fighting for the P4 now. And Wissenheimer goes a bit wide. Tiamo is on the inside. Is this going to be a switch of position? They're neck and neck. Tiamo takes the inside for turn 4, and it's looking like it's a swap. Nicer. Not the cleanest. Wissenheimer did go off the track there. Bit of tensions between the McLaren teammates. But Tiamo would appear to be the faster car, and he gets P4. Cuts across the curb somewhat. Trying to increase his gap on his teammate. Sector 2, we have Crazy Steve. He's gone round at turn 4 again. It's not really... So he's lost that position to the bot of Leonard, which is really kind of embarrassing, which means he's going to finish P8 and last in this race, as he has a damaged wing, and he only has 4 laps to catch Leonard, and he's just not going to do it. So unfortunately, that's Crazy Steve. He's not had a terrible race. Turn 4 has really not been his friend here. And he comes into the pits to repair his wing. Meanwhile, Wissenheimer has caught back up to his teammate, and there's contact! There's contact between the McLaren teammates. Wissenheimer locked up and hit his teammate in the back. Doesn't appear to have been too much damage, though. Neither driver has gone off the field, so it's no real harm done. Wissenheimer kept his distance. He decided not to take that position away, as he knew that would not be a particularly sporting move. Meanwhile, Crazy Steve is going to be the first driver to be lapped in this race, with 3 or 4 laps remaining. Faco still 6/10 ahead of Colin. Colin is really keeping Faco honest here. But Colin doesn't appear to have had the best exit out of turn 3. Or did he? He fell back to about 7/10 and then he caught back up to about 6/10. So these cars appear to be stronger in different parts of the lap here. Maybe Faco has a bit more downforce than Colin does, as he gets a little bit wobbly, but not too much of an issue. The downforce, the dirty air of the Haas in front may be affecting the AlphaTauri somewhat, but it should also be giving Faco a nice little slipstream in some of these straights. But yeah, Faco is definitely feeling some of the pressure now. He's using a lot more of his battery, and Colin is really quite close again. 4/10. If Colin does not take a look, he's biding his time. But really, one of these drivers should probably be keeping their ERS deployment low, and Faco is not doing that. Faco is definitely feeling the pressure. He's used a lot more ERS than Colin has. And now Colin has more ERS than Faco does, though... They're roughly equal again. So, Colin used a little bit of his, I think. Faco's using a bit more, though. both are using their ERS. And unless the rain disappears in the next 2 laps, it's not looking like the order of this race is going to change. Nevo is keeping reasonably close to them, but or is he? He's sort of gravitating around 2.2 seconds. Colin is using up a lot of his ERS. He's taking a look up the inside, and there's a bit of contact as Faco holds on to P1. That was a very opportunistic dive from Colin, and it just wasn't to be. It was a very good move though, but it just didn't quite work out. And Faco still has 1 more lap to defend, but I think that was Colin's chance. He doesn't have the ERS to play with. Neither of them do, really. It's been a really topsy-turvy race. We had the race got cancelled and restarted because of lag issues. We've had some drivers not appear in the second race because of these issues. So what could have been a really spicy race with hyper has tended to affect a little bit of a ball fest, really. So Colin is going to try his luck again. He's dumping his ERS again, but Faco is going to use his as well to defend. And Colin is just a bit too far behind on this occasion. He still has at least 1 more overtaking opportunity, but he gets a bit of wheel spin. And Nevo is 6/10 behind Colin now. Could Nevo take P2 away from Colin here? Well, there's still about half of the lap left to go here. But I don't think either driver is going to change position. Not unless one of them makes a mistake. So Leonard began this race. Faco started on pole. He lost it immediately to Leonard twice, but thanks to a safety car caused by the retirement of Ben Dixon, Faco is going to convert his pole position into a win. Faco takes victory, and everyone goes off. Colin and Nevo crash into the wall and take P2 and P3 respectively. And yeah, that's about it, really. Everyone else is too far apart for there to be any real substantial positional change. So yeah, just a bit of a donkey session, really. Things could have gone really quite swimmingly, and then things went wrong. We had to restart the lobby, and we lost some drivers because of that. Just unfortunate, really. So in the end, we've got the positions are, we've got Faco winning the race in P1, Colin P2, Nevo P3, Tiamo P4, Wisenheimer P5, Toss 1981 P6, Leonard P7 as a ghost, and Crazy Steve as a finishing in P8, last man to finish, and Dan Edwin, I don't know if he's going to be classified. Don't know if there's going to be any points here awarded. It doesn't show any points. But yeah, you'd assume that Dan Edwin would get 9th and Bradley would get 10th. So, no real controversial incidents to happen here. There was the brief contact between Tiamo and Wisenheimer, but that resolved itself pretty quickly. That may fall to the stewards in the FIA. Yeah, really not much to talk about. It was not a particularly exciting race. I gotta say that much.
There was no moment that really had me on the edge of my seat, thinking, oh, what's going to happen here? I mean, it was wet the entire way through. Maybe the first race would have been wet to dry, but there was no real way of knowing. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it happens. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. Things have not gone entirely 100% this evening, but hopefully things will be fine next week. Just need to wait for the game to communicate, really. Not sure what's going on here. Online services error, sure. Let me guess, there wasn't actually an error. There was no error, it just was already online. Yeah, typical. We did lose more frames though, I don't know what the hell was going on there. 32 minutes ago. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Yeah, hopefully things will go better next week. Take care. I'll see you next time. Yeah, will go better. Take care. I'll see you next time.